Hey everyone, Mherex here, bringing you another video. Today, we're going to be bringing back an old one. We're doing the Champs News today. You guys might remember this. I used to do this daily on Twitch. Sometimes I'll probably record this on Twitch, and by daily, I did it Monday through Friday. I probably am going to try to get back to doing that Monday through Friday. Some days there'll be more news than others. Like today, there's a crap ton of news, and I'll just kind of cover a lot of different stuff on the daily. There's a lot of stuff going on right now, so let's just get started, and we'll just start off with. And I'm not gonna do the portal loots and stuff. It's always better to buy on the portal, so keep that in mind. You get more bang for your buck. I guess maybe it's not always better. I guess some countries get like crazy tax on the portal, right? I think Europeans do, and I don't know for sure though. But like me, I don't. So for me, it's always better value on the portal. But these seem like they're fine. If you want to work on the faction event for you, 2 loot pulls, $5, whatever. It's a 55 pull, so 250 a loot coin. They're whatever. Obviously, this one is better. It's $2 a loot pull. Compared, and then you got the 150,000 points, which really isn't that much. 8 tokens might be a little bit, but you can see they last for 3 days, so there's really no rush. You can decide later. 6-star silver Bailey, not really good anymore, really, compared to all the other lady showboats out there. So whatever, $7 for 3. Actually, yeah. So it's $2 a piece again, so that's not terrible pricing, I guess, but let's see what it is for a 55 pull of them. It's a little less than $2, right? So it's not like great. You do get some extras, but yeah, that's a different one. So it is what it is, Don't love the Bailey offer, but the shard price, or the this is okay. The medallion power up packs, I'd wait till the end to see if you need them or they're gonna make a difference. So I wouldn't rush that. Same thing goes with this one. I mean, this is a great deal, right? If my free to play was spending, this would give me a 6-star gold mail that can stun lock. If I was a spender, like gonna spend, this is kind of $20 well spent. You don't need any tokens. You don't need any shards. You get them all the way up right away. So I think this is a great one, but it's for owners, so you have to have already gotten Big Boss Man, so you would need it as a fuse. But my free to play has him, so I think that's pretty good. I don't mind that one. The energy bundles, I hate that this is a showdown thing. They are what they are. Not going to go over that. Token packs, these are horrible value in my opinion. Also, I don't think it's ever, same goes with this stuff, right? I've never bought tokens or resources. I don't buy stuff with those in mind. Also, as I've always said, yeah, you can see these are $2 a loot coin. So really nothing special with these guys other than you get some Beware of SummerSlam points, which isn't a very big amount when you look at the later on milestones. And again, there's no reason to rush. You can see where you need to get. These are whatever, and they're not anything special. The Lex tokens are fine, I suppose, but you don't really get anything else, so I don't particularly love them either. Backstage Pass is a pretty solid deal, honestly. You get a ton of stuff each week. You get these bags. You get bags daily. You get loot pulls. I want to say it's like 7 loot pulls total on the weekly loot. So I do think Backstage Pass is actually a pretty good deal. Again, if I was going to do light spending, that's something I'd definitely consider. The rest of it is all just like kind of standard stuff, so nothing big there. Don't forget to claim your free daily bag. And we'll take a look at the actual loots, and then we'll get into, there's way more news, so like if you want to skip the first little bit, if you're not interested in the loot stuff, that's fine. I'm just getting it. Maybe next time I'll probably do it at the end instead, because like really it's the least important thing. I'll go over the loots at the end. How about that? I'll go over the loot at the end, but we'll do my 1 Birdman pull from the club store. You get the extra bonus. I won't call it free because you pay for the club store. You get the bonus pull. I already did the claim one, but then the club store had the bonus one, so go pick that up if you're a club member. And, 100 Dudley shards, okay, whatever. Not that exciting. I have him, but it would be great if I didn't. So there's that. So let's start with the worst part of the news, in my opinion. This sucks. The Talent Up competition for this week went live with an error in the task for spending coin. The task has now been corrected. Thank you for your patience. Please accept these rewards for the top 10 leaderboard positions of the competition. You get these are like leaderboard rewards, which nobody cares about. They're not that great. A couple 6-star medals, 50 Beck shards, and a strap, right? And 15,000 of these, whatever. So if you don't know why these went out, why we're getting these, that sort of thing, it's because if you did talent up right away, like I was just leveling up somebody for my showdown defense and I maxed talent up. I didn't even know it was broken. But if you did, it only took 120 million coin and you maxed your talent up. So you can see I have a bunch of talent up points because I just was leveling some people for Showdown. And then I looked, I'm like, how the heck did I max this? This was broken. Spend 1 coin. I haven't reset. I'm sure it still is broken for 1 point. I just haven't reloaded my game since then, so that's probably why it shows that. So that's what it was. Now, the problem here is it probably to max is going to take a crap ton of resources, even if it is 30% easier. So like it's all the El Grande shards, the chest of disappointment, you know, this. So I was able to max it for 120 million coins. So is my free to play, and get all of this stuff. So I don't think this is actually the proper outcome from Scopely. What they You know what I mean? What they should have done is just left the point method the same and let the leaderboard sort itself out. So I think this is a huge miss on the compensation personally. Unless they were going to roll back all the people that maxed it and roll back the rewards. This is not the way the outcome should be. You should just leave the point method the same, let everybody get the same amount, and then you'd fight for the leaderboards anyway. So this is a huge miss. Massive miss in my opinion. Usually they get these right for the past 2-3 years. I think this one was a massive miss. They couldn't have missed it any harder. So yeah, the coin, the talent up should have stayed up the way it is. It's not like we don't have a ton. It's not like they're really making money off of talent up or anything like that. So I just think somebody kind of dropped the ball on this compensation, and I don't think they could have got that much more wrong. So yeah, hopefully you got your talent up maxed early. If not, I mean, yeah, it's definitely not equal, fair. It was timely, so it was one of the 3 things, you know. You kind of want it to be timely and fair. Generally those 2 things is all you really need out of compensation. And this was timely, but I don't see it as being fair. So that's definitely a bad part of the news. All right, let's get to more important stuff. There's a Stip tour going on right here. Special one, first round. Beware of SummerSlam. I got a little bonus for you guys here. So if you look, hell mode, of course, if you look and you go into the unranked here, or the ranked, you go to rewards, top 1,000 players get a ticket for the next one. Stipulation quarterfinals. Okay. This is where the Frankie plate was going to be. If you look at, where's that news tab here? The new Frankie the Parrot skill plate will be flying into Stipulation Tour near you. So if it's like the last one, the top 100 players in the finals were able to get the skill plate. I don't know that it'll be the top 100. I don't know that it said that anywhere, but that is what it is for. So you will want to do that each day and try to get there. So just kind of show you a couple things. Your Enforcer, you need this Brett. And ideally you want him 34k to get 100%. To me, this round, I don't think I'm going to need it. Don't think it's worth it. Also, so I don't feel like leveling him up anymore, right? I just don't. I don't care. Yeah, so there's that. So let's go in here, and I'm going to show you guys. So Batista, of course, very common character. Make 28 blast gems, destroy 28, and then there's make 6 random on this one. Entourage for this one. You could use Tyler Breeze and Santa Hogan instead. and that would get you loaded. I'm just using Roxanne, JBL for some more blast gems. I think it's 3 or 4. It's 4, I think, and then 1 more with Ray. So it's 3. So 4 total extra bonus, right? Blast gems. You can see my promoter isn't even kind of maxed. Again, I don't think I'm going to worry about it in this round. I have a limited amount of IOW tokens, so kind of playing that close to the vest. You don't need a strap or anything. If you're trying to make sure you stay in the top 1,000, which probably shouldn't be too hard this time, bring you some props here. Gooker doesn't appear to be loaded with anything, so on hard mode anyway. So yeah, just go in like this. I'll show you guys how you would attempt to do this. Oh yeah, I didn't really read the rule, I don't think, but it's destroy blast gems. So that's the only way you get points, not damage, not anything, just destroying blast gems. So you need to do it twice to fill the board. So 2 green up props if you want to fill it twice. If not, you just do what you can, right? And then you can swipe because the whole board. And that's why Hogan is on there in case there's a black match like this. I'm swiping instead. And you can see you do get 2 turns. So now we're going to throw these out there. And this is in case, like, maybe you don't have enough props. You can't really afford it. This black move will get you a little bit farther. With filling the board up. Still not all the way, so still not the top score you could get. So again, now you just chuck this 2 more times. Throw these out. And then you can hit the destroy, swipe, whatever it is you feel like, because this is the end. And that's the max amount of points I could get, unless there's some weird thing that will chuck blast gems somehow after the fact, and then a Royal Rumble that would override it. That's the max amount of gems you can destroy, full board both times, but I don't have a max promoter or enforcer, right? You can see we got 25 Naya shards from that. That's my high score on this one. So let's see where that ranks us. 127th, right? So I will wait to do the last one right here until closer to the end, because I think you can rebuy with cash. This one you can. So I'm assuming you can rebuy with cash and run it again on normal on hell mode. I don't know if that's the case on the first round. You may not be able to. It says cost 400, so that's why I think you will, because it's free the first time. So I'm assuming that 400 is for the second time. You can see here it's cost 200. Here it's cost 100. It let me rebuy the second time on this one. This one I used Austin. I actually got less blast gems with Austin than I did this time. And we're in 127th, you know what I mean? So I'm not going for a leaderboard, and like I said, because my promoter's not maxed. So and I did use the rebuy, and it's not cumulative. I checked that out right away. So you don't necessarily need to do the rebuy. It's not needed. It's just if you want to try and get a better score. But I'll wait till closer to the end on this one to do it. So anyway, that's kind of a little tip, a character that a lot of people have that can maybe help with this blast mission, whatever you want to call it, fill the board up and that sort of thing. After that, it comes down to your promoter and your enforcer, and if you have the resources or have already leveled them, is how you will get farther. So that's that part of the news. All right, so like I said, there's a ton going on. We have the Showdown event going on here with the ladies, with all these different damages stuff. You don't want to miss this. The bracket has loot pulls and stuff. So that's going on. It feeds of course, the Beware SummerSlam contest, right? All of that feeds into that. There's this faction loot pull one going on that has a bunch of, like, you know, depending on your faction spends, and, you know, if you get lucky from the bags, there's just a bunch of potential medallions in it. If you get really lucky, right, you'll hit 1,000. Seem to be averaging about 20 to 30 from mine, to be honest. And they're between 10 and 1,000, but they seem to average 10 to 20 to 30, somewhere in there on mine. So you can see 2 milestones for me. I don't have a lot of currency so far, but yeah, that's going on. That's complete loot spend. But the Showdown portion You look in your league, and you go to rewards. First place on League 23 has 55 of the loopholes. And then you can see it goes less as you go down. No loopholes for anything below the top league. And then as far as my second place gets you 20 loopholes, which is nice. So you can contribute. And these are the faction ones. And this should end before that does. Kind of surprising that they did that. That's really cool, actually, because this resets in 1 day and 2 hours. So yeah, that's pretty nifty. That and you get 10 loopholes in third place. So the top 3 places get some loopholes to help the feed the faction event. So a lot of factions should maybe get a little bit extra potentially than they may have otherwise if their faction is active in this. So that's pretty cool. I think that's really neat. Yeah, we can take a look at the Showdown event itself. The milestones, it's all like, you know, pretty much just the last points are here, I think, at 300,000. Yes. And after that, it's medals and prize wall bags. But these bags pay out pretty low, to be honest. About 175 is common average. But if you hit the max milestone, you get 500,000, which is pretty tough. Generally, you need all the CSS to do it. And use some coin promoters and then buy a little bit of energy if it's like the last one. I don't have EO, so that's 30,000 short. So I probably won't with this one. I typically start with my worst first if I'm going to do it. So I did 2 Tori matches about halfway. It'll probably take like 4 matches with her, depending how it goes, give or take. And she's the worst of it. And I do slow down personally a slow rollout, slow burn. I don't burn a bunch of my energy or anything like that. There are boosts to be aware of. Offensive showboats have 50% gem damage boost. I think that goes up, I think, as your pool goes up too, so yours might be higher. Ruthless Aggression also gets 50% boost to gem damage. Michelle McCool 2 multiplies. Defense, Maxine gets health. Rhea Ripley, 50% gem defense. And then Becky Lynch, all starting move charges reduced by 4 MP for the opponent. So if you run into somebody with a Becky Lynch on defense, you watch out for your MP. So Showdown is live and active, so that's important. Gosh dang, there's a ton going on. There's a bunch of tours for the week that reset today, but they're not on a timer, so no great urgency there. Yeah, I think that's pretty much the big stuff going on today. Make sure you do your Showdown, and make sure you do the Stip tour. And then after that, I think Victory tours are up, Lex tours are up. This is the energy for Showdown. Again, I save mine. It's no rush. We got new SummerSlam tour again today, and then new Beware of SummerSlam tour. So you'll want to get those done because you don't want to leave everything for the last day. But then, yeah, your month-long tours. This week, there's a bunch of new ones this week. We got Legend Era, and uses Neidhart. Ends Friday. Dusty Rhodes, the technician, and another ends Friday. Penta. So you can pick up obviously some extra stuff. And then there's the champs ones if you're a subscriber to the thingamajiggy. So yeah, that's those tours that are up. Other than that, oh, my Showdown energy just came back. Maybe I'll give you guys a bonus hit here. Ooh, I lost on defense. Let's take a look. 1 win, 1 loss. Zombie Bailey got, oh no, more than 1 win. 2 wins, 1 loss. Zombie Bailey EO combo got me. Very nice. Tip my hat to you, sir. Let's see. I'm looking for easy win, preferably somebody silver, or somebody who maybe isn't very good, but also I'm looking for higher Nodo. So something like this would be ideal if their Nodo was higher than me, maybe, like, you know, rework an old Becky. Probably not super great. None of this looks attractive here to fighting. Nikita. I don't like the idea of Liv, but Nikita we probably can do something with. Let's take a look. I didn't bother putting tier 6 medals on. I probably should. Yeah, she's not loaded, got nothing going on here. So there's really no reason to be afraid of going in here. These are the kind of people I will look for when I'm trying to get my CSS tasks done. So if you're wondering how my Tori's set up, 100% strap, Nightmare, I just stole a strap from Taker, right? Nightmare plates on it, won't activate, didn't bother changing my metals. That would all be better. And then just triple yellow, Kofi, Cena, Goldberg, Zombie, what's his face? Steamboat. And I'm just staying ahead of my energy, but I'm staying low because I do my worst, my hardest CSS first. So I need to be able to find easier people to beat to win with Tori so I don't lose. Because the whole idea here is never to lose. You do not want to lose in Showdown because you have limited energy. You always want your Showdown promoters in, and you always want to fight people higher Noto than you. So that's all of the stuff that I'm taking into account for. It's a 2-turn stun with Tori, so you kind of get it set up. And then the stun wears off, but now you can do some damage. Ideally, she would kick out here so we can get 2 rounds of damage. So I do want her to kick out on this one, and we want to win on the next one. Black match, don't love that, but she's still not full because she doesn't have any trainers. So that's not bad. And we just go back to the stun. We can hot tag Michelle in to get us out of trouble, right? That potentially could have saved us. Yeah, that's it. She should still be stunned. That should save the stun for us, so I think. Probably she'll stay down anyway and it won't matter. And here you can see 36 million. Yeah, it's not going to matter. So yeah, that's kind of how I'm going about my Showdown. So kind of the bonus match here for you guys besides the Stip tour. And yeah, this is probably longer than a lot of the newses will be, but I figure there's stuff going on worth seeing, worth showing sort of thing, right? Okay. So now as far as the loot pulls themselves, beware of SummerSlam loot. This is the one that feeds the main contest for SummerSlam going on. Be very careful with all these loot coins you're buying. Make sure you get the right ones, right? It's a 40 pull, mega rare. Featured is 1.5%. So you do 100 pulls, you might, odds are you'll hit 1.5 items in the featured. They're not equal odds. I say this all the time, right? They're not equal odds. 2 guaranteed on the mega rare, so you're gonna get at least 2, but they're 8.5%. So, you know, I'm sorry. If you do a mega pull, it's you're not. If you do 100 pulls, you would get 1.5 of these, right? So, you know, if you do a mega pull, there's not even guaranteed you're gonna get a feature on this loot. Now, the featured is really, really, really strong. You know, you'd probably be disappointed with Solo, Hall of Fame, DDP, Liv, because they were ones you know, much easier access to. Not that Liv is bad. Cody, you're probably getting closer to. Like, these ones start to feel bad. You know, that would feel bad. This would feel bad. You know, these two probably feels bad. And Bam Bam probably feels bad. Maybe even Maxine. So, you know, once you start looking into it, you have to do 100 pulls to hit 1.5 of these, and they're not all weighted the same. Like, you're way more likely to get the bad stuff than the good stuff, just FYI, that it's not equal odds. So basically the odds of hitting the card you want in here, you could do 1,000 pulls and not hit it, just so you know. Now, mega rare, you get 2 guaranteed, same situation. This is on a 40 pull. A lot of the same cards, but they're not all weighted the same. And if there's shards, those are always weighted substantially higher. But like, you got a bunch of A tiers, you know what I mean? Another A tier, you know, another A tier, a lot of older cards. So it's just not, they're not good. Basically, what I always say is don't ever do pulls expecting to get something new. Do pulls when it guarantees you something else, milestones, which guarantee recruiting a character, something like that. And if you do pulls, you have to, if you're not okay with getting nothing, then don't do the pull, right? If you, because I can't tell you how many people I've heard say, oh, I'm just sick to my stomach. I spent $100 and I have nothing to show for it. Exactly. So, you know, unless you're okay with getting nothing, don't do a pull. Now the Birdman loot is kind of interesting. At 55, you get 2 mega rares guaranteed, and 2% on the featured. So with the 55 pull, odds are you hit 1 featured. No guarantee, of course, but odds are you hit 1 featured. Jade is not that great. Solo's okay. But it's mostly you're probably going to hit shards in the featured, to be honest, right? These are not bad shards. There's also this. This gets you into the finals of the Stip Tour, so there's that. And then we go back to the Mega Rare. Again, you're guaranteed 2 with the Mega Pull. By the way, you do way better typically on pulls with the Mega because you're getting those guaranteed items. Otherwise, at 18%, there's no guarantee you'll even hit 2. So there's that. Again, this is the same kind of loophole, but it's going to be heavily skewed towards shards. It always is. It'll be the same thing on super rare, and it's a great selection of shards, and it's really not that diluted though, right? Like in general, this is what I would consider a pretty good loot. When the worst stuff in here is shards for like Jade, Solo. Yeah, that's not bad. And then you get medallions for both the Birdman, different Birdman currencies on there, prize walls. So to me, I think this loot is actually the better, for sure the better of the two as far as what you can actually get. And then these week 5 ones are never that great. You know, if you hit the featured, great, but don't pull these expecting to get somebody awesome. Wait for the elite loot. You have a way better chance, but again, no guarantee. So that's kind of my take on the loots of the the 3 up. This is by far the better one. So if you want to spend money and try doing pulls, do this one, but just know it's mostly going to be shards, right? You do this pull if you're close to shard recruiting or trying to get closer to a bunch of these characters. That's the most likely thing that's going to happen. Or you know, you want currency for the prize walls, and to help your faction out because you're getting a bunch of currency there. We can just take a glance at the new prize wall that's out. I won't do a proper breakdown on it here, but just to show you some of the stuff, you can see 2 milestones. I have 121 currency. I haven't spent on this loot yet, just the 1 claim you saw me do, but you can see the new plate is the blast plate is 1,120. And it's double price for 6-star gold OTC and CM Punk. You with these guys being there, you got to know this is going to be very difficult to reach and cost a ton of money. So if you have illusions about getting 1,000 from one of those boxes, yeah, it ain't going to happen, Chief. Cena, you know, is great. DK Cena is amazing. So I think if you get there, that's a great price. But if this is your only chance at the plate, would you really want to turn that down? That's the question, right? These ones, whatever. Again, more really great plates in here. The new Kamala plate, the rainbow reinforce is 5,999. You know, so that's not terrible. Even better pricing on the leech ones. The rainbow leech one is 399, but you know, leech gems, there's not a ton of people that one's good on. What's really the best pricing on this wall, just real quick though, is this. This is the $100 moment token. This moment when it came out was $100. So if you're using a bunch of the ones on there, you might think about that, as that's pretty cool. And in general, I'll just say it's a really good prize wall, but that's the Frankie one, and the only thing that feeds that is you pulling. Oh, here, you guys can see what I get from the chest of 3. I got 50 out of 3. So you can see that's two at 15 and 1 at 20. So you're basically going to get the minimum, most or very close to the minimum on most of these chests. So don't go thinking you're going to get a bunch. That's really typical. So yeah, that's that. I think that's it for the first edition of the Comeback of the Daily News. It's freaking 30 minutes, way too long, but I added a bunch of extra stuff in there. I could have honestly covered more stuff. I'll try and streamline it more for you guys, but there's a lot going on. You know, TLDR, do the daily stuff going on, the Stip Tour, the Showdown, and thanks for watching, guys. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. Let me know in the comments, because I'll probably read some comments on a bunch of these as we go through from day to day. Curious how you're doing, how you're feeling about the stuff. And don't forget, we're supposed to at some point this week be getting hype too, which is definitely newsworthy. So check out my video on hype if you're not sure what that means. I just posted it this morning. So thanks for watching, guys. Good luck out there. Yeah, make sure you like, subscribe, and share too, because that really helps me out.